But so I was just saying that Mari will share her research, and the presentation is called Steam Bathing with Ancestors and Otherwise. So thank you so much for being here. It's finally such an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nazar, and I'm sorry I forgot to change the title to my presentation, so it's a bit different, but speaks about the same thing. I can assure you. So thank you so much for having and inviting me here, Nazare. I'm so happy about this initiative because yes, I know we have been also trying to, I mean, being connecting, but not really being like this connecting. So this network is such a great opportunity to connect with you and everybody else. And thus I first would like to actually, because I know that Rimas is there, so I would like to also take this as a great opportunity to express my greatest gratitude to Rimas. Hi, Rimas, because he is kind of like a starting point of my sauna journeys. Of course, I've been in sauna since I was 6 months old, but to really to start practice art in sauna. And so 10 years ago, with Rimas, we organized a leaf bathing or whisking course in Finland, and it was for me very important because I was working on the interspecies communication methods, and I saw this as a method for that. And this was also a starting point of something that has evolved ever since. Because in this same course, one of the students among us was Maria Allen, who was also then studying together with us. And then we started to develop sauna healers community also in Finland, which was there, but what we were interested in was really the plant medicinal practices and related to the traditional views of worldviews of that are present in the folk healing. And so now I have to say that we have now started, I think, maybe fifth traditional sauna healers course in Finland, and we have an active traditional sauna healers community organized under the Association of Traditional Sauna Healers, and all those who have been taking part in that traditional sauna healers course are becoming also part of that community. So I think Rimas has been a very quite important starting point for this these developments, and so I'm very thankful. And also I see here Vitautas, so I would like to thank Vitautas also for inviting me to Nida to do sauna practices there. And then, of course, Dalva Lamimäki, who is a dear friend and with whom we work all the time together. So just to introduce myself, yes, my name is Keski Korsu, and I'm a researcher and most of all artist. And my kind of like artist practice has always evolved around to acknowledge this kind of more than human relations through intuitive communication and encounters in this what we could say in damaged planet. So acknowledging this kind of gift economical relations in this planet. And I've based always my or attempting to base my art practice into empathy and care, and of course intuition, and also as what Donna Haraway calls it, situated knowledges, so placemaking stemming from the environments that we live within. And I will talk about that also later in this presentation. And just to say shortly what has been kind of like my research question the past some years has been the role and manifestations of the modern human ritual or ritualizing in polycrisis. And by polycrisis, I mean this this kind of like a complex set of interlinking problems that humankind is facing. This can be climate crisis or wars or and all these pollution and environmental damages that are interlinking and also always relate to the excessive use of natural resources. And I've been working as a part of an interdisciplinary research group called Changing Perspective that focuses on collaborating with humanities, natural sciences, and arts to investigate nature's contribution to humans, and especially in the Arctic, in the North Sapmi, the land of the indigenous Sami people. I will tell more about this place later. And the NCP concept is interesting because it's based on the ecosystem services, but it recognizes the essential role of culture and, of course, arts in defining the relations in between human and more than human, as well as emphasizes this kind of indigenous and local knowledge is what we are talking about here. And just to generally first talk about what I mean by more than human ritualization, I find it important because especially in the context what we all work with here. To me, more than human speaks, as Mari Puig de la Pelacasa says, that it speaks in one breath of non-humans and other than humans, such as things, objects, other animals, living beings, organisms, physical forces, spiritual entities, and humans. And those, I find this as a relational concept very important in our work. And why I'm interested in ritual and ritualization is that that it is something that that connects all these when we are talking about more than human. So it connects with the biological kinfolk. Actually, the whole term comes from ecology, which I find interesting. But also, no matter how you look at it, it also combines both both human and other than humans as ritualistic beings. And thus, I think this is a really interesting meeting point of the worldviews and how we live on this on these ecosystems that we live within. And when I talk about ritualizing, it is a potential for right. So it is this kind of like seeds of that we can find in the environments that kind of like start to build up to be a ritual. And yes, so then ritual you can of course link to different kind of phenomena, but of course here I talk more about the art and performance. But why it is to me important is that ritual permeates this, I say, this more than human cultures, and societies, and it permeates technology, science, politics, and obviously, as said, art. So in this way, it is this kind of like cosmotechnics to understand the world and its and also to relate with the uncertainties we are facing within the polycrisis. So I just wanted to kind of like tell how I approach ritual, which is also sauna ritual, but it can be also some other ritual as well. But I think it speaks a lot about the importance of the work that the ritualistic work that we do, and also the possibilities of it as kind of like how to say, soft activism in this world. So my practice has been located in a small village called Abisko in North Sapmi in North Sweden lately. So I just put up this map, so those who are in Trondheim, you can maybe see some of the how to locate Abisko in the map. It's a small village of 100 people, so not as big as Trondheim, of course, but so it is located in North Sapmi and North Sweden, also in Tornedalen, Tornio River Valley, where there is Tornedalen culture and language of Meänkieli present as well. And this is an interesting place, as it's, I said, it's a very small village, but there's about 50,000 tourists visiting yearly. And it is a place of very tangible experience of green transition now, but also like when you think of like mining, also in the past, so exploitation of natural resources. There's a Kiruna mine, which is the biggest underground iron ore mine in the world. So this all links to the exploitation of the natural resources. And furthermore, there is over 100 years of environmental observation by natural scientists in the Abisko Scientific Research Station, where I also work. And there, I mean, this is of course everywhere, but it should be noted that especially in these Arctic, or now you need to call them subarctic because the climate has already changed. So, so you are not kind of like trying to prevent climate crisis, but it has already happened. And in the Arctic areas, the climate is warming 4 times faster than elsewhere. And of course, it's also a boiling point of these kind of geopolitical tensions that I think our work also relates to through the water. And in this place, I was interested in the bodies and bodies as a sensorial state, platform, and kind of like apparatus of sensing. Like in this kind of like a, how to say, place of drastic change, but also place of where this kind of technoscience is sensing the environment all the time, and sensing and changing, how to say. And my focus has been especially in the because this is also an area of permafrost. And it's one of the like here in the map you can see it's this kind of like quite small area of north where there still is permafrost, and here in the other side of the map you can see how much it has vanished. So basically, permafrost is land or sediment or soil that stays frozen always, and it has stayed frozen for hundreds and thousands of years. And here in Abisko, it is especially in the Palsameyers. So these are the kind of where the permafrost is located. And now as the permafrost thaws, it releases a lot of CO2 and especially methane as the microbes start to decompose the previously frozen organic matter. And at the same time, and this is what my interest has been very much, has been that there are viruses and bacteria released from the permafrost. They are basically the same who also decompose and cause the emissions or well, I don't know if you can call them emissions, but the release of the gases that this microbial life is also released from this frozen state, and they are basically a risk, or maybe they can create resilience in the current ecosystems, but it needs to be known that they are unknown to the current ecosystems. So I was interested in how to relate with this microbial condition in this kind of like scales of what I just explained of this in this change, and it also needs to be noted that it might sound something small, the microbial life of permafrost, or something very detailed, but when we are talking about water, with water they travel everywhere. I will talk about that also later. But so I kind of like bases my work on this idea of sentient ecology, which was coined by David G. Anderson, who is an anthropologist studying the Evineki people, reindeer herding people, and it's this kind of like how to acknowledge the solidarities and obligations in certain ecosystem. So in other words, how to know the land through this kind of like constructed mutual interrelation. So this kind of knowing can be translated into intuition. So it is based on feeling, consisting in the skills, sensitivities, and orientations that have developed through a long experience of conducting one's life in particular environment. And this is actually Tim Ingold, who is also saying that intuition is the foundation of any system of science or ethics. So I'm interested in like how to live with this sentient ecology and acknowledge these obligations and solidarities. And my kind of like very practical methodology for starting to do that was walking. And now I can go back to this, what I was talking about, ritualization. So I considered walking as a ritualization to kind of like a way of attempting to know and finding seeds for ritual. So walking methodologies are, of course, used in many fields of also art, anthropology, ethnographic research. And it is, of course, based on place, sensory inquiry, embodiment, and rhythm. But also what I find interesting is transcorporeality, something that new materialist scholar Tracy Alamo is talking a lot about. So the idea of transcorporeality is that it analyzes the experiences of encounter through embodied porosity. So this can be also linked to what you are talking about, like hydrocene and maybe perhaps Artelina Neyman's concepts of oh, I lost my thought. But nevertheless, so I think it links to that. But what is different in the concept of transcorporeality that it is also it is embedding the kind of like the ethics in the experience, so that it doesn't only talk about this porosity of like for instance, humans' bodies' vulnerability, but an encounter with economic, social, political, and cultural structures, which can be also violent. So this means that that it requires critical approach to how humans' practices impact other species. Those humans should be take responsibility for their actions, accepting agential accountability and collective responsibility for environmental harm, as well as adopting an ethics of care that is not separated into a nature-human binary. Okay, so I suppose that was quite a lot of kind of like theoretical background. So I think it's good that I go to more to the to what I've been actually doing in the Palsamire. Actually, I've been working in a very small Palsamire, which is located in between the railway that transports the iron ore from the Kiruna mine and a highway that goes towards Norway. And so it is small, and in between these two quite massive transportation routes. And this of course the scientists are doing their data collection in this mire as well, and it's kind of this when I said about like how bodies and everything moves with water, is that this Palsamire is located. There is a small Mielejohka river that passes it, and this river flows to Tunetrask Lake, which is a huge big lake, and that is a starting point of Tornio River, that flows like 500 kilometers downstream to the Baltic Sea and all the way from there. So we are here encountering the same waters that encounter the Palsamire, the small Palsamire where I've been working with. And so what I did with the walking methodologies, I walked a lot, exposing my body to these quite extreme conditions of cold and well, sometimes also warm in different seasons. And then I collected water samples from this pond, which is a place where the scientists say that the permafrost is actively thawing. So so I took these small samples of water there, and then I looked at my water samples through the microscope, not really trying to figure out what are the species of this how to say permafrost microbial life, but just to because of course you can't see them with your eyes as such, but I was looking through a microscope and kind of like meditating with them, and especially focusing on their movement, because they are something that we can't really know about as such. Like, how do you empathize with something that doesn't look like you at all, or doesn't have like, you don't understand basically anything about their life in a way? So the movement was something that I was able to understand. So then I started to record these movements, and I went back to the Passamire, and I did walkings with following the same movements with the microbial life, and it became this kind of like video installation as well. But also it became working with permafrost performance, participatory performance. I work a lot with participatory performance. That's how I defined the kind of like rituals and what I'm doing, whether it is in sauna or outside of sauna, and also in art contexts or any other context that I'm with. So these participatory performances where people could were guided to walk the similar microbial paths or routes, how to say, and then also because through that you can experiment the environment that you are yourself with. So in that way, it was of course a different experience in every place that this happened, and this is also actually available as a audio piece as well. So if somebody wants to listen to it, and when I'm guiding the performance, in the end there is a footpath where people can then choose to put these drops of permafrost to their footpath and kind of encounter with the permafrost and the microbial life of permafrost. But then going back to sauna, what we have been talking a lot about. So as I said, I considered walking as ritualization. I think walking is as a method. It's also something what we do always when we collect plants or firewood or whatever we need for sauna. So it could be also considered as that the ritual has already started. So what I was then interested in was that how do I take this environmental change that I'm investigating into an existing ritual, which of course for me is sauna, because that is the kind of the where the sentient ecologies, as also Dalva and Laura were kindly explaining, where the sentient ecologies are manifested in Löyly, in steam. So I'm focused on the Finnic, Baltic, or Karelian sauna practices, and this is an old picture which I love very much. It's cupping or bloodletting, folk healing, that method that still exists today, practiced in sauna. And here you can also see in the back you can see the vihta buckets, the 3 buckets for the sauna ritual or folk healing ritual. And this is kind of like what was also what Dalva and Laura explained, that the folk healing is kind of like carrying this sensorial heritage of the modern human relations in different places, and of course, like tangibly, you can find them in folklore or incarnations, which were collected by some men some hundreds of years ago. Dalva can talk a lot about this, which is very interesting, and I'm really happy that these archives can be researched from modern human perspectives as well, because they are full of sauna relations and also relations to the modern human and to the worldview that is present in sauna. So that is why I work in the sauna. It is a transformative ritual. I mean, we could also take a shower. There's a reason why there are saunas, and why it is a ritual. With Löyly, you merge with the modern human that is present there. We can acknowledge the world around us and understand it in some ways, and also relate to the uncertainties that are surrounded by us, are surrounded in the world of us. So these are the reasons why I want to work in sauna, and of course it links when I'm talking about the temperatures of the world. So it is kind of microcosmos that relates to this macrocosmos then. And of course, I'm not the first artist. I know that here there are artists who have been working with sauna for a long time, but I wanted to just give you a couple of examples from the past where artists have been kind of like having the sauna ritual as part of their practice. There's Papu Pirtola's Turvesauna from 2003, which was a public sauna in the center of Helsinki. Pia Lindman's hybrid sauna, where she took a sauna in the middle of New York, busy New York urban environment, and kind of like wanted to investigate the how to say this, kind of like purity and corporeality in public space. And there you can see public sweat, which was actually not so long ago in Toronto, where they had many saunas and artworks in the saunas and performances as well. Barry Sykes has been working with the sauna reading groups since 2016. Very interesting work, and also he's making this kind of sculptures of how to say, melting bodies in sauna. To me, very precious work is also Satu Herrala's sauna lectures from 2013, where she kind of facilitated these kind of lectures of first-person experience of oppression and discrimination, such as refugees' dangerous and traumatic journey to Europe, or effects of transgender persons' reassignment process and on work life as a minister of Evangelical Lutheran Church. So baiting together in these powerful narratives gave a push to emotional journey that manifests really in empathy, and the bodily changes from relaxing warm to agonizing hot are interlinking with the narratives, and the ritual becomes transformative because proposed embodied knowing. So this has been also very important work to me. So in kind of like, I have been working in sauna, of course, with connecting with the plants and trees, but or facilitating these connections. But now that I've been working with permafrost, I turned into the method of peat treatment, which is folk healing method, also used in many places, but here it of course connects with directly to the Palsamire, and when sauna is considered as a liminal space, also peatland is this kind of like liminal space of being. So that's why I mean, and of course we could talk about like all the kind of effects peat healing has as a health treatment, but here I kind of use it as a ritual to encounter the permafrost and Palsamire life that is in change. So I will. I was thinking that I could read from this. There is this experience that I recorded while doing the peat treatments in sauna. So this is one of the people that was there, and I just to explain how they link with the permafrost microbial life. So as it says here, she wrote that, and then she painted my body in cold, creamy peat puree, which she explained was thousands of years old, mixed in with thawed permafrost of a much more ancient vintage. As she painted me, she would pause occasionally and press down on my torso. As she did, the weirdest sensation, a surge of grief, a sense of disconnection. End quote. So notably, the microbial life of melting with permafrost thaw is in a new situation. Their state of being is in change from frozen and static to warm and moving. In this sauna, the temperature is maximum 60 Celsius to ensure the microorganisms can survive it. Similarly, the body of a human is in change in sauna. They share the environment and the circumstances. She was open-minded for the encounter. Regardless, it is impossible to know if there are, for instance, viruses in the peat that can be potentially dangerous to human, or if a human body is suitable habitat for them. As I spread the peat on the body, there is a friction on the fingertips, and small particles roll under the palms. I try to follow their movement. After the whole body is covered with peat, I press a filter paper on the torso to make a print of peat, sweat, and melted permafrost. This becomes a part of an archival art installation that collects such prints from all the performances. Then I quote her again. My real body felt buried deep beneath my skin as a slab of concrete divided us, it and me. And I missed it. I missed my body in that moment. I moored my treatment of it, ignoring it, encasing it in layers, entombing it to the extent that I could barely feel the weight pressed against me. Right there, I resolved to return to my body. An hour later, I started ovulating, and about 10 days later, my period started, the first in about 6 months. 17 days later, I've lost 8 lbs. Something happened to me in that 10th sauna, something profoundly sad and profoundly joyous. Because after that moment of revelation, a little silent weep, I felt filled with power. I took my body outside in the bright afternoon sun and walked naked to the sauna to wash off. I felt powerful, like a warrior woman on the cusp of battle. So her experience of being isolated from her bodies could speak of this kind of Cartesian mind and body dualism that seemingly dissolves in sauna. So there are bodily events that she can map, which relate to the experience and sensations in the performance. Being vulnerable means also being powerful. So was this because of the encounter of microbial life of the permafrost and peat, or a sudden deep understanding of a corporeal experiential belonging to the sentient ecologies? And I would like to also acknowledge that microbes and especially viruses have played a significant role in human evolution, not only because of the immunity, but for instance, mammals have developed placenta due to the viruses. So I think this should be always acknowledged, and also that human DNA is also 8% viral DNA. So we are indeed more than human within ourselves as well. So then, Nazare, how much do I have time?
I think there is not much more time, but your presentation is so interesting, that I just allow it to go on. But I don't know if you want to share something shortly, or we can open also
Yes.
to any discussion or questions. How do you
Yes,
feel?
I just quickly say that so from these peat bathing performances, I've collected, because I consider permafrost as an archive of knowledge, and then we encounter that knowledge, and then I have started to build an archive of my from these encounters. So these are some of the works that relate to that, this kind of repository. And if you want to have some of the references from this presentation, I can send. But what I really would like to say that, as I mentioned, this research is partly conducted in an indigenous Sami, where Sami people have lived since time immemorial. So I pay respect to the knowledge and care of traditional custodians of land, water, and air, and to the custodians' manifold spiritual principles. I pay respect to the land, water, and air that sustain humans and all their relations. I wanted to have time to say that. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's very touching and it just go deep into so many subjects. So I just want to open for any questions or discussions. But one thing that really resonated with me, well, many things, but when you share the feedback and this encounter with permafrost, I was it just came to my mind this notion of self-consciousness and what is self-consciousness, and then how self-consciousness wakes up, or how do we experience self-consciousness without our brains, no? Because I think when we bring our brains into that notion of self-consciousness, it doesn't exist, like we lose it, it gets lost. So I felt that I wanted to really ask you that, but this feedback kind of answer in itself, how can we somehow understand or perceive or experience self-consciousness?
Yeah, I think this is something that I of course, and this is very much where I think where artists and where we really work at, because there is a lot of knowledges, or if you call them knowledges, that are not semiotic. You can't put them oftentimes you can't put them in the words even. So so then in sauna or in steam bathing, these can be embodied and experienced in this kind of like what I call transcorporeality, according to Alaimo, that you sense, and of course it's more than sensing, but you sense something that you can't really explain, but it can change something in your consciousness that then can lead to something else. And this is why I think our work is super, super important to continue this work and do it, because yeah, there's a lot of things that science, and especially the Western science, can't explain, and we need all these knowledges to come together to really actually relearn how to live on this planet. So yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm not sure if I answer your question,
Yes,
but
totally. I think it's very difficult to really answer because it's something that is, it cannot be named in a way. It can just be felt or
yeah.
embodied.
Yeah, I'm sure this is something that you do all the time. Like when we work intuitively in sauna, you often you have in the sauna you have a framework, because yeah, as said, it is an environment where you need to take care of yourself and take care of the other. So you have a framework where you practice what you are doing, but in that framework you do all the time intuitive decisions that you don't have any idea where they come from, but you know for sure that they are right because you have practiced it also. So you learn in this environment teaches you to do that. It is, yeah, it is definitely transformative learning, because you are like, you don't have any other choice really. So this is like where, like how does that happen? How does that intuition work? It is knowledge that you don't know, but you just go for it, and then you make these decisions, and yeah, you take oak, you take whatever you take in your hand, and you didn't plan it, but you just know that you have to do that.
Maybe on deep level, the consciousness is not only about self-consciousness, it's about the consciousness that exists, like what
Yeah.
you connected to, because we are connected so many
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, and then and of course you listen to
This
can be very well the oak that is telling you that. So
it's about the listening, no?
that's how I see it.
I don't know if anyone wants to ask something, say something. It's a little bit, we are a little bit now, yeah, how you say, like a late, because we want to have a little bit of a break, but maybe some other comments or questions or anything that you think is important to just say before we say goodbye. And thank you to Marikeshi. Of course, you can stay. There will be another presentation now, but
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm in Umeå in
sure.
hurricanes and Afoden symposium, so I think I need to go to Lavu and listen to some presentations there. But I'm happy to answer if you have any questions. And I'm so sorry that this took much more. I forgot to put my timer on, so I was a little bit taking too much of your time. So.
It's okay. I should have also say something, but I think it's just time is yeah, it's more about what is being shared, and we are very grateful to just being part of this talk and receive this knowledge and be inspired by your research and your practice. And so thank you so much. And I know that you are in a seminar, so thank you for making the time for it. And yeah, just let's keep weaving the
Yes.
water listening to it.
Indeed, I will. Yes, and I'll hope to be in touch very soon and see this network activating in so many levels.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care, have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so.